Now this drill will completely stop your flip going through the golf ball, and it has a 100% success rate because this drill forces you to keep your angles going through the shot. It will really calm down that right hand impulse of wanting to fire, wanting to flip through. Now there's one thing about this drill. It's incredibly difficult, but that's a great thing because when a drill is difficult, that means it really, really works. So what this drill is you can grip the club like normal and then take your right hand off and put the right hand down the side of the grip. So what you've got to do now is swing and hit the ball as solidly as you can whilst having this. So this is going to feel very weird when you start off. So make sure you got some practice swings in there and really make sure you are trying to strike that ball as good as possible. So I'll give one a go here. And there we go. If we have a little look at the slow-mo, we can see definitely some good angles going through there. Very weird to feel and very hard to hit good golf shots with. But if you start to hit some poor striking like fatting the golf ball, if you start to hit them heavy doing this, there's your feedback that you have had a little bit of a right hand action going in there. Because when you've got your palm elongated on the side of the grip there, we will see that if you start to fire that right hand, that club is going to fire into the ground. It will elongate the arc and it will make the arc more into the ground, move the swing lower. So really for us to hit a good one, so even there for me, I slightly hit that heavy, which means I must have had a little bit of right hand. It's incredibly difficult, but it will force you to, if you're going to hit good contact, to keep those angles nicely. That was much better. So really good. And what else this drill is great for is it forces your body to have to move better to move through that golf ball. So your body has to rotate more, because why it has to rotate more is because that's the only way you can get that club onto the golf ball solidly. Again, you can't be active with your arms going through here because your right hand will fire. It will throw, it will fire. So you have to be more passive with the arms and to be able to turn. So it's a great one for more rotation also. And for guys who really have a very active release, it will completely get rid of it and completely make it more passive because you won't be able to turn over that face. So if you really struggle with some left shots every now and again with a stall of rotation, a great drill to do. So with this drill, it's only going to be beneficial if you know also what is causing your flip to occur. Because flipping through the golf ball with the hands or the club beating the hands into the shot, that happens for a shot functionality reason. So we're going to get into reasons why that happens in your golf swing, and this drill is a great one to do alongside to get you feeling what a good movement through the golf ball is. So let's get into these main reasons of why golfers flip, and then applying that knowledge and applying this drill afterwards is going to finally fix it with that 100% success rate. So the first reason here to why golfers have this flip in order to function is because they've got their ball position too far back in the stance. So if you have your ball position inside the middle of the stance, so more towards that trail foot. So if you're going to hit the ball now and get some decent height on the shot, you have to throw some loft. You have to add loft, because if you are doing everything nicely with that back ball position, you're moving through, you're shifting nicely, you're turning nicely, you're going to present way too little loft. You're going to have far too much shaft lean. The ball's just going to go so low. It's not going to go very far either. It's not going to be great. So you would have to throw those hands, quite often hang back on that backside, throw those hands into the shot to be able to add some loft. So that's why if you do our drill and have that ball position still really far back, you're going to massively, massively struggle. So that's why I like to see players do this. So whenever I have my lessons, let's say my skillets lessons send in to me, I love it when a first-time student sends in the videos and they've got some alignment sticks set up like this. So one for their foot line and one for their ball position. Because that, for me as a coach, I know then that their ball position isn't going to be making any changes to their swing mechanics. Your ball position will have the biggest effect for quite a lot of things in your setup and then relating into your swing mechanics. So that's why you need to have that ball position. Let's say here for my A-tine, more roughly out the middle. So that's why if you can keep that out the middle, let's say with your shorter to slightly lower mid iron, so let's say your 7-iron for example, Then as we're moving down into that downswing, you can continue to turn and you can continue to shift and you could deliver good loft onto it with, let's say, not as much flipping and still hit some nice functional shots. So the second reason to why so many golfers flip through the ball, and that is because their club face is way open. So if you watch any of my other videos about flipping, you absolutely would have seen this in there. So if that club face is open, so let's say I'm approaching impact and that club face is either pointing up to the sky or up behind me there with the toe, that is open. So if I, let's say, for example here, come into that ball, try to get great angles, try to fix my flip without fixing the club face is now going to point massively out towards the right there. So the only way I can square up that club face is via throwing and firing that right hand. That is the only way I can do, flipping it, because you can see that squares up an open face. We need that club face to be squarer to be able to present good lean onto it. So that is where, if we can get that club face square, quite commonly I'll see players with a very weak grip and not match up that grip. It'll be easier to make that grip standard. 2.5 knuckles on that left hand, the right hand there, line between thumb and the meter hand pointing towards right shoulder. That'll be a far more consistent grip for you to have, and make sure then your takeaway is good. So that's where I want to see then players with their takeaway, making sure they're having their hands in, club out there. You can see how that club face angle now is matching that spine angle. So just a little drill that you can do is get those hands going in around a fist distance from the right leg, club head slightly outside the hands. That will ensure with a standard grip you're going to have a square club face. That's going to make sure that club face is square, and you can do a drill to get to there and then swing up, swing through, and after you've done a bunch of the drill, you're going to be able to present way better loft through it. Now number 3 is something we've talked about earlier, and that is active arms. So we talked about how this drill is going to slow down your arm movement to be able to do it, because you have to use more body to be able to produce that lean on the shaft, because shaft lean is a byproduct of good shifting and good rotation in the body movement sense. So if your arms are overactive starting that downswing, they start the downswing sequencing, whether they go out for a player or down, they're out racing the rest of the body. So that means as they start to come through the golf ball, the body rotation will be slightly slower than the arm speed or arm sequencing going down. The arms are winning the race. So from there, body has to back up. When the arms are passing too quickly past the body, have to back up to make way for the arms. And when you do that, your loft will throw, and you will throw those angles going into there. So if we can make sure that as we are swinging in that downswing, we are keeping our posture, we're making sure that these arms are starting having the last movement as we start that downswing. So we went lower body, mid-torso going first, and then arms coming along for the ride as a reaction. That's going to make the body rotation ahead, not ahead as in stuck. You need the right side to drive forward for it to get stuck, or your arms to be incredibly deep, but making sure they're winning the race. If you are staying in tilt and you are turning and moving that lower body, mid-torso, and then chest, there is no way your arms are going to get stuck, but they are going to be behind in the sequencing. That can help you stay in your posture and present better loft. Arms being overactive will make you flip. So that's why just this drill alone is going to help you keep that posture and keep those arms way more quiet in that downswing. And there is one more reason here, and this is golfers expect themselves to get a ton of shaft lean at impact. So much shaft lean to where they would never be able to make their shot function. So that's where, if you have a ton of shaft lean and you get here with loads of it, you need your swing to be incredibly fast to be able to do that. You need a very quick club head speed. So that's where when we look at players, let's say like a Dustin Johnson, for example, really gets a ton of lean of the shaft. We've got to know Dustin Johnson has a very close face for his swing, which helps him be able to then get that club face square via lots of shaft lean, but he can only do that because of his body speed. He rotates incredibly fast, swings very fast, to where then that low launch that will create will then the ball will nicely still get up for him because of the amount of ball speed. More ball speed will create more lift. That's where for amateur golfers who try to think, okay, I want to hit the ball with as much shaft lean as possible, because that's what I've heard is the good thing to do. That's what all the top tour players do. And then yes, they're going to hit the ball lower, but then they're going to hit the ball absolutely nowhere, which is what we see with a lot of strong grip players who grip the club strong to try and get more shaft lean, and they just generally don't have the club head speed to make it work. So that's why a little bit of shaft lean is great. Little bit is absolutely fine. That's what this drill is going to help you with, even with the slow-mo of me doing the drill, as you can see here. Not a tremendous deal of shaft lean, but a little bit. That's where I don't swing as a professional golfer as fast as Dustin Johnson. I can't make his amount of shaft lean work. So that's why we've got to be realistic here. We've got to know that, okay, we don't want to be throwing and early releasing it, but we don't want to have crazy amounts of lean too. So be realistic with your expectations. I teach so many golfers who have come to me for their first lesson saying they flip through the golf ball, and they don't even remotely flip through the golf ball. They just don't get as much shaft lean as they expect themselves to, but they get a amount of shaft lean that is reflective of their club head speed. If you want loads of club head speed, loads of shaft lean, you need a lot of club head speed. So let's talk about the drill a little bit more. So once you've figured out what you need to do in your golf swing to be able to keep that club face square, and I do have a whole course which really details this in a good section of the course, which is the ultimate guide to rotation in the downswing, because if you are doing something that makes you flip, you'll be stalling your rotation too. So there's a link in the description down to have a good watch of that for more reasons why this can occur for you. But if you fix, let's say, you've got a nice square club face now, your ball position's in a good spot, and you are, of course, arms, you're wanting the arms to be quieter, then you can go and do this drill and really benefit from it. That's how you get that 100% success rate doing the drill, because you're only going to fix this in your normal swing if you know the reason why you are flipping. The drill is going to help you a ton to feel it and to get the repetitions, but then to replicate that without doing the drill, you need your swing to be in a place where you can present good loft and not add loft. And there we go. That's how we'll go about getting that drill and having that drill be as useful and as beneficial as it is. So absolutely, if you enjoyed the video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.